Hey and welcome everyone to a new video. I'm Capunator and it is a pleasure to talk to you today. And this is my very first video about the new Warzone Battle Royale. I hope you are ready for this mode because I'm pretty excited and I hope you all are too. So today I'm going to share my first impression about this game, and my first games I had were pretty exciting. I had a lot of fun, and so I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it and what is good in my opinion, what is not so good, and how I hope things will change for this game and which things I think they are already pretty good. First of all, I'm really sorry that I have no game sound. My recording program just messed up while I was recording. Got messed up with the voice chat and with the in-game sound, so I just cut it out because it was Swiss German. I don't think it is so interesting for all of you, so I'm sorry for that, no sound, but you have my pretty voice, even though it's not so pretty today since I'm a little bit sick, I have some problems, but I thought it was important to make this video for you all, so let's start with it. First, it's free to play, so it's really nice. It started on 10th of March this week, and it is all out for all of the platforms, so PC, Xbox and PS4. Switch, I'm not sure, I don't think so. And we have one map, it's Verdansk, and this map is made out of all the maps we already had in Spec Ops and the Ground War maps, and it's pretty big. More about that later. We can play solo, duos and trios, but the problem there is that you can't really search for a duo or solo match. It's just that you can play solo if you don't want to play with other guys, if you don't want to fill your lobby. But I recommend you here to play as 3 people because this is way better for you and your team, even though you can't communicate with your team in the voice chat. And there's one thing that changed in this game about the other battle royales. We don't have a storm, we don't have a fire around you like in Battlefield. Here we have a gas circle, and that's a great idea. More about that later. So the map, Verdansk, it's pretty big. As I already said, it's put together with all the maps of Ground War and the Spec Ops missions, so there are so many places who should be similar to you, who you should know, and this will give us a lot of movement and a lot of places to visit that we already know. It's, in my opinion, it's a really fantastic map. The map is bigger than in Blackout with Black Ops 4, and it's bigger than the map in Fortnite, since we are playing with 150 people in one lobby, and that's huge. In my first opinion, the map is pretty good. It's a good density of places to land with loot, with buildings. It has some interesting areas with trees, with mountains, with those houses to play a little bit defensive, even though some of them are a little bit high and make it a little bit campy, the game, since the people feel safe on those really high mountains, but not mountains, on these really high houses. But we will see how this will change. Now next, the loot in this game. Loot is a little bit different. They really made it the Call of Duty way. First of all, we have loot on the ground, then we have loot boxes, and we have those buy stations, which you just could have seen here. And yeah, what do we have in the game? Obviously we have weapons. We have ammo for the weapons. There we have ammo for pistol and SMG, ammo for AR and light machine gun. Then for launcher and for shotgun is also another sort of ammunition. Then we have lethal and tactics, the same as we know from the multiplayer, so it feels pretty similar to the multiplayer, and in my opinion that's a great thing. Then we have field upgrades, which you already know from the multiplayer. You can use every field upgrade from the multiplayer except the tactical respawn, since you don't have a respawn on this map. Then ammunition, as I already said. We have gas masks. These gas masks are really good. You should always look for them because they are pretty important, because the gas is making so much damage. In this game you need to pay attention because the gas is really more dangerous than probably your enemies are. So the gas mask is a pretty big and pretty good item for you. Stay with it. Then we have armor plate. It's like the shield we know from other Call of Duty multiplayer, not multiplayer, from the other Blackout, I wanted to say. Like we know the slurps from Fortnite or the shields from Apex. And that's a pretty good system in my opinion, because it's more simple than we had it in Blackout. Great addition here. Then we have cash. With the cash you can buy at the loot stations. You can buy some kill streaks, more about that later. You can buy your respawn for your teammates who are already dead. And there we want to talk about that later also, when you are dead. That's a pretty big thing here. In my opinion they did it great. And you can buy self-revive and things like that. And then we have contracts. The contracts are like little missions that you can do. There are, I think, 2 or 3 different types. One is you need to search for loot crates. These loot crates will always be gold, so there will always be pretty good loot in it, so stay for these loot crates and for these missions, because you get a lot of money out of it, you get good loot, and you always will get a tactical gas mask that's pretty good. Then the other contracts that you can do are bounties, so you can accept this contract and then you will go and chase another enemy, and if you can kill him you will get a reward, you will get money, and that's a pretty nice thing. I think it makes the game more dynamic. So now what do I think about the gameplay? First, when you start with a pistol, you start with your life at full health, and you start with 2 out of 3 armor plates. That's great in my opinion, because if I compare it to probably Apex Legends, when you spawn, when you calm down, then you can't find nothing and your enemy has a weapon, you are dead and you need to wait another 20 minutes to respawn or to play another round, or you need to look your teammates playing. That's annoying, it's so frustrating. And here at least you have a pistol, even though it's not a good one, but you can kill someone, you can defend yourself, and that's great. Then next point I am really excited to tell you I can be really positive about is the loot. I had some... I'm sorry. I was not sure if this was going to be good in this game, because in Blackout I had the opinion it was a little bit difficult to find enough loot. Even though probably I just didn't play enough Blackout, I need to say. But the loot here is great. It's simple. You have the weapons in about different categories of rarity, which makes it pretty simple for looting, for finding, for choosing which gun you are using, because most of the time the more rare guns are just better than those you find often. Sorry. And this just makes it great in my opinion. It makes it simple, and it keeps it really a simple, casual way like Call of Duty should be. Here you can see I'm just reviving my teammate at those buy station. That's a great feature, more about that later. So yeah, in my opinion the loot is great, and we have also a great density of loot. Because in Blackout I had the feeling that I really need to search a long time for loot, and here we have a lot of loot on the ground in those loot boxes. And yeah, you can buy it at buy station, but there is really enough loot at the ground and at those loot boxes. That's great. Next, the time to kill. I like the time to kill you have when you are at full shield and full health. But once you don't have no more armor plates, you are pretty much the same health as in the normal multiplayer. And this gets it really difficult for you to mess up with people who have full armor. So for me the time to kill it's good. It could be a little bit longer in my opinion, but they made it great. It's not feeling like Battlefield or Apex, where you need multiple magazines to down an enemy. It feels good. Probably snipers are a little bit too strong, more about that later. Now the encounters. Thanks to those contracts, you encounter enemy quite often. The enemies know where you are. The enemies know that they are chased by you if you accept the bounty. So the density of enemies, the number of encounters in this game is really good. I enjoyed it, even though here in this gameplay it was a little bit, annoying. But we had a team down here in this building camping, and we didn't want to go in since we were only 2 people. And I had an assault rifle, and I think my friend didn't have nothing for a close range. But in general, you have enough encounters. You can go for high kill gameplays. You can have those rounds where you have a lot of fun, a lot of encounters, and that's great. Then the respawning system. Thanks God they made it really great. I'm so excited about this. It's so cool. Gulag. Gulag is like a prison where you are going to if you first die in this mode. And when you are there, you have a 1v1 gunfight against another enemy who is already dead. And if you win this gunfight, you can directly respawn on the Battle Royale map. That's great. Really a great idea they had. And what they really did great about this, the Gulag is only available till a little bit before the match ends. So you can't just have a second life in the end fight or something like that. That's a pretty big thing, and it's great. And then also the respawn by teammates is pretty great, because they always can go and buy you at those buy stations. And I think that's fair, because you need to earn this cash, and because you need to do the way to go there. You need to take the risk to respawn him, and people know that if someone is respawning near them, they see where the buy station is, they know there is someone, but you can keep your teammate respawning multiple times. Then next point, the cash. The cash is a great idea for reward people who are playing aggressive, who loot a lot, who are moving, who are searching for those contracts. Great idea. It brings some management in your gameplay that you probably should think of how you spend your cash, for what you are spending your cash, armor plates, self-respawn, or airstrike, something like this. As I already told you, loadouts and weapons are great in this mode. I really think it's a fantastic thing they made with the loadout drop, and you can get your custom classes in this mode. Gives you a little bit of advantage if you are playing aggressive enough to get enough cash, or if you are going to this loot drop where you can find those loadouts. Then one point I am a little bit skeptical about are the snipers, because you see a lot of snipers in this mode, and in my opinion they are a little bit too strong. I know it's a sniper, it should do a lot of damage, but it's always a one shot on the head. And in some end zones where you don't have an angle on your enemies and the whole enemy team is camping in a building with 3 snipers, you probably just don't have any chance. Yeah, it should do a lot of damage, but how about just living with about, 10 health if you got hit by a sniper? Then the kill streaks are a great idea. They are pretty good balanced, they are only the not so strong ones, and UAV, that's a good idea, and the shield turret. But one thing, in my opinion, there should be about a limit before the end zone is here where you can't use airstrikes or cluster strikes, because sometimes in the end zone this just wrecks you, and in my opinion that's not a great thing. Then the gas. The gas is a great way to push people towards you, not camping outside the zone and just reviving or just regaining health. That's a great idea for keeping the fight dynamic. Great job there. And as I already said, the contracts are one really great way to play aggressive, to earn your rewards if you are playing good, if you don't fear to go the ways you need to do. Yeah, thumbs up there. I really like it. And sorry, that's pretty much everything I had to say here for my first impression. I'm really hyped for this game, and I'm really curious what will happen about it. and I will surely spend some time on Verdansk. I had a lot of pleasure in my first few rounds, even if in my opinion the endgames are a little bit campy, as you can see here. So if you're hyped too, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you back. My name is Capunator. Ciao!
Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa.